Welcome back. Thank you for joining me. You can see the room is emptying out slowly. All the stuff is off the walls. Everything is slowly making its way upstate. It's a big change. It's a welcome change. You'll see more about the new shop in just a second. As far as work goes, check it out. You see that sign right there? It's called Blade and Bow. It's a bourbon from Louisville, and I made that sign that's all hand cut in brass. That's going to be a video that'll be out soon this week, and I got that in the can. I just got to finish the edit. This week in class I did a demonstration for Delft Clay. I've done a video or two on Delft Clay. It's this reusable clay where you can cast hot metal into it. It's like a combination of tin and zinc, and it melts at about 400 degrees. And you can get it at Contenti. I have no deal with them. This is just where I get stuff. Contenti jewelry online. Check out Contenti. You could buy the Delft Clay kit, and you could also buy the white metal, which you heat up in a little crucible with a torch, with a regular MAP gas torch, and you pour into your molds. It's actually a really good kit if you're experimenting with jewelry design and you want to try and make prototype jewelry. And if you just make it little castings, maybe you have like a train set and you're making little parts.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
This Easter Sunday I thought we would go to the flea market, but unfortunately the flea market was closed. I had no idea it was even Easter Sunday till we drove by and we started trying to go places and we realized everything was closed. So instead Taylor suggested we go for a short hike up Vrooman's Nose. That's with a V, Vrooman's Nose. It's this cliff in Middleburg on Route 30 in upstate New York, and it's a short hike, but when you get to the top of this cliff, it's incredible views of this tremendous valley. It's really, really beautiful. If you ever get a chance to hike up there, people have come up there with chisels and hammers, and they've taken considerable amount of time to do graffiti. You see graffiti from as early as the 1700s. It's really interesting. So take a look. Vrooman's Nose. I'd like to thank my buddy Grayson, who drove here from British Columbia to come and help me move. Grayson, thank you very much. We loaded up his truck, my truck. We made one round trip this week. We're going to do a second one tomorrow with his truck and my truck. And while we were up there, we spent some time getting the shop ready. We put up 4 sheets of plywood. You see these 4 sheets of plywood basically represent the whole length of this shop that I'm in right now. A quick comparison of where I was to what I'm going to be in. Having this big space is going to increase my productivity and my creativity. I'm just so excited to get in there and get started. I'm still in the process of leaving here and working there and working there and working here. It's going to be a slow go, but once I get over the growing pains, everything's going to work out fine. I'm going to be super happy up there. People keep asking, are you going to miss this place? Yeah, I'm going to miss this place, but it served its purpose, and that purpose is over now. So I'm really looking forward to the change. Now that I have this big shop, I have room for big machines. So these machines that have been sitting in my backyard, actually I've been able to use them, but they've been outside covered. I decided to load them up. Me and Grayson put them on the trailer, and we drove across the yard. I was trying to film a cool sequence of the things coming and going, and then all of a sudden I got stuck in the mud. So we got to wait for a dry day, and then I'll be able to pull this trailer out of the mud. It was really my truck. My truck, all 4 wheels started to spin. I wish it would stop raining.
Pete, go ahead. Cheryl Crow will be here momentarily.
Some of you know that I'm a fan of Marco Terenzi. He's an incredible miniature artist. Not only is he a miniature artist, he's an incredible machinist. These things he makes, I mean, people get hung up on the fact that they're small, but I'm not sure people realize what an incredible machinist and craftsperson he is. Sure, he makes things small, but he makes things small and perfectly accurate. I got this saw from him this week that is the second piece to my collection from Marco. This saw is absolutely accurate down to the teeth scale, the scale of the teeth. I'm not going to use it to make anything. It's just part of my new collection. I was able to cut my fingernail with it, and it cut perfectly. It cut just the way you would expect a crosscut saw to work. It is absolutely beautiful craftsmanship. If you guys take a close look at the miniature artists, the guys that make miniature tools, and this week I liked a video where I liked a guy that makes miniature cars. And when I say miniatures, I mean like half scale, fully functioning half-scale cars. And the guys that make the little V8 engines that are like this big, or the little mini motorcycles, or the small Bridgeport mills, these are the guys that inspire me because they have to figure everything out. Nothing exists. The math and the thought process and the skill that goes into making something and then make it small. It's just incredible to me. So when I feel like I'm up against the wall with something, I think of Marco and these group of guys that make things tiny and how well they do it. So something to look at, something to be inspired by. Thank you, Marco. I want you to meet somebody that was my mentor at the School of Visual Arts, Kevin O'Callahan. I bring up Kevin's name a lot. Kevin's been a big part of my life and also David Waelder's life. He was a teacher to both of us, 20 years apart, and Kevin's just an incredible guy. Kevin has a magical ability to bring people together around a project, and it creates a camaraderie around the project, and that brings out the best in all of the people involved. And that's Kevin's real special power, is bringing people together and bringing the best out in them. Meet Kevin.
Friends, old friends.
So a quick history. Kevin was my teacher. I was in the School of Visual Arts in 1986. And I was about to quit when Skip Savino,
Right.
literally grabbed me by my arm and said, follow me, and brought me into your class in 1986. And my whole entire life changed that moment, seriously. So Kevin, how long have you been teaching here at the School of Visual Arts?
I will be celebrating my 33rd year. Unbelievable.
33 years. I was in your class in the 80s, 86 to 90.
Well, that's about the beginning.
And then you got me teaching here in 94, so whatever year this is now.
And you were in one of my first classes.
First portfolio teacher.
My philosophy in teaching is to motivate, to be there for them, to be there in the trenches, to do whatever it takes to make it happen.
What advice can you give to young people trying to start a life, a career in the world of making things?
Do whatever it takes to wake up in the morning with a smile on your face. Because if you wake up with a smile on your face, success will follow it, no matter what it is. You're best at what you do, it'll come to you.
And then one thing I learned from you and me and David Waelder, a lot of my fans know David Waelder, who is also a student of yours. One of the most important things we always look for is the concept. And we both always say that's because of you. What is the interesting concept inside of the design, whatever it is we build? And so that's from you. Do you want to talk a little bit about concept and execution?
To be conceptual is something I really believe you're born with. I think you can learn to work with tools. I think you can learn to work with materials, the integrity of materials. But to be conceptual is something that you're born with, it's within you. And what we try to do is we try to bring it out. We bring it out in many different ways. You know, we give starting points where students get similar starting points. At one point they got Yugo automobiles, which you were in. Yep. We always give a starting point, whether it's an old typewriter or whatever, and it's kind of it equalizes, it puts everybody at the same level. And then we're really able to see how conceptual somebody is or isn't.
Right.
And we run with it from there.
Tell everybody, what's the name of your book that people could look up?
The book is called Monumental, The Reimagined World of Kevin O'Callahan, and it's a history of all the great exhibitions that I've done with my class. Exhibitions that have gone around the world. Yep. And one of them was in over 450 news pieces on it.
Which one was that? The Yugo?
The Yugo show.
I was in that one.
And the Carousel,
yep.
You know, sponsored by the History Channel, went to 29 cities. It's a wonderful, wonderful history of the students, and talking about being conceptual. It'll blow you away when you see what they were able to do. And also of my own career, yep, with MTV and things like that.
Right on. Thank you, brother. Thank you for everything, and I'm happy that we're still friends.
Thanks. Love you.
Love you. Awesome.
Created a rock and roll shrine where you walked into this office of this person at MTV, and outside looks like a typical cubbyhole type boring office situation, and then you walk in and the whole office was like voodoo and like old bottles and old taxidermy type stuff. The shoes were done by a designer named Deborah Adler, and who was a student of mine, and it was for a show called Moonlighting, where we reinvented the MTV Moon Man.
Yep.
We gave them made them into different products. I did this for a show called Change Needed, where where students were giving old coin-operated machines, bubblegum machines, arcade machines, and they were asked to make a statement, a social or political statement through the machine. So hence the name Change. And this is a celebrity fortune machine, and celebrities give you their fortune. Not only Elvis, in this case it's Sean Penn, and he's saying somewhere along the line the actions of this government are the actions of me, which is actually a Sean Penn quote. So I think in the machine there's over 50 different celebrities, and they give you their points of view on life.
Kevin, thank you for your time, and everybody, thank you for watching. I'll see you next week. Thank you.